Hiccup's sword had landed in a snowdrift some distance away, and it was Toothless who found it. Dragons are very good at sniffing out metal. It had indeed got a little bent in the process. Hiccup tried to bend it back again, but it was still a little skewiff. All of his belongings had got similarly bashed up. There was a large dent in his shield, caused by the big fat foot of Dog's Breath the Durbrain. The ticking thing was smashed and ticking wheezily like it was out of breath. His bow was bent and most of his arrows were broken. If these were indeed the king's things, or whatever old Wrinkly had been going on about, they were definitely not in tip-top condition now. "How are we going to sleep if we don't have any hammocks?" asked Fishlegs. "We'll just have to make our blankets into hammocks," said Hiccup. By the time they had done that and collected their broken things, which Snot That and Dog's Breath had heard all over the place, they were a good half an hour behind everybody else. "Windwalker," Hiccup said to his riding dragon, "you really ought to go round the long way, like everybody else, with everybody else." The Windwalker looked so saddened by this idea that Hiccup relented. "Oh, okay then. I suppose as long as you don't actually help us climb up, that's fine. They didn't say you couldn't be there." "You spoil your dragons, you really do," said Fishlegs as they began to climb the cliff. "And we deserve it," said Toothless. All that day they climbed steadily up the cliff, with poor Fishlegs trying not to look down because he was afraid of heights. When night fell, they hammered in their nails and hung the brown blanket hammocks off the face of the cliff, and Fishlegs was so exhausted he fell asleep immediately, as did the Windwalker. A little way away, balanced precariously on a tiny ledge, and Toothless curled up under Hiccup's waistcoat. Hiccup took a little longer to fall asleep, swinging from the hammock, like he was on the deck of his father's ship, the Blue Whale. He looked out over the jagged slit of the gorge laid out below him, like it was indeed one of Thor's thunderbolts, and as if he really was a boy of destiny, and the god himself had reached down to earth and was striking Hiccup with his lightning. And then finally, when he did fall asleep, it was old Wrinkly's words going round and round his head. "Terrible danger awaits you at the Flashpoint School of Skull Fighting. The world will need a hero, and it might as well be you. And remember, look after your sword, Hiccup, for it is the sword that points the way. The sword that points the way. The sword that points the way." What does that mean, do you think? I don't know. There's tongue twisters. Oh, that's a bit scary looking there. Oh, they're the gigantic man-ting-dwelling dragons. Oh, they twist off their victims' limbs with their long muscly tongues, thus rendering them helpless and unable to move. Oh, Gnocchi, we'll have to find out what happened, because we left Hiccup in a really difficult situation. We left him in that situation. Chapter 3, grappling with the problem.